Kabbalistic art, really. This is one that, I'm not sure where the artist was, but he's showing this is the Ein Sof, the Ein Sof Or, which is what is above the crown, the infinite, infinite without threshold. And it's an extended tree. So it's like not just one tree, it's a tree, you can have a tree in each of the four worlds. This is again done by my friend David Friedman, and he just made something which is like the Ein Sof, the line of light that comes in through Keter and goes right down into Malchut. So each of us have that line of light, and there's like a spiral vortex above us, and it comes right down through the spinal column, or the breathing tube, if you want to use Shrinvala's terminology, right through us, and can purify each of our spheres of the tree of life. This is a beautiful diagram that he did. And he just did this by multiplying the letters, Keter, Keter, Keter. I don't know how many he put in, I never counted, but this, I can do it. There's, this is the poem that is at the 193rd degree of the zodiac. My sun is there, so I really had to work to get this one. And I was really happy to find that when you took the word Bereshit, it's on that 193 harmonic. It's 913, which is 720, plus 193. So that's how I work with the gematria. Like I do it in bundles of 360. 361 is the first harmonic of 1. And so I can take big long phrases if I want to. So this is the phrase, Bereshit. According to the Zohar, there's 70 or 72 ways of organizing those letters for different meaning. But it means Bereshit, create a foundation or create the primordial 6, if you want. But you can break it in different ways. You can say in the Rosh, in the original 10 spheres and 22 letters. So there's been many people that have meditated on this word, and in the Zohar I think they came up with 72 different ways of understanding that word, Bereshit. So in the beginning vibration, you created 6 dimensions of the dreaming, foundation of the covenant, of fire, spade of the earth, spade of the sky, shield with a double entrance. The shield with the double entrance is the Star of David. That's what it is. It's a shield with a double entrance. 10 spheres, 22 fire letters. So there's 10 spheres, 22 fire letters, the 22th letter. The Elohim, in whom the male and the female are one. So you've got this New Age philosophy now about meeting the soulmate, and one carries the male aspect of the one being and the other carries the female. So it's that unification of the masculine and the feminine, the male and the female, so that they're in a beautiful dance that balances, is very much part of Kabbalah. And it's very much part of Shir HaShirim, that sacred book that Akiva loves so much. Okay, so we've done a little bit more gematria.
The Elohim.
Yeah.
Can you expand on that, on the meaning of that word?
Sure. Elohim is the creative powers. And in Sumeria, there was quite a number of them. There was quite a number of them in Egyptian mythology too, certainly more than 7. But the Hebrew mythology, which I believe came out of Amarna, was a group of 7. And it wasn't just to connect them to the days of the week, but maybe to the first 7 dimensions. So that the Elohim are the powers of big time cycles, aeonic time.
Right.
And different, every culture has given them
I've heard of
different names.
Yeah, of course. And
Every culture.
there was one translation, one who comes from the stars, meaning Elohim, which a star might have to do with
Could be,
all your balanced chakras.
could be. I just wanted to do this one for you, which is Merkava, which is Memresh Kaf Beit He, has a gematria of 267, which is interesting because that's exactly where our galactic center is, the 27th degree of Sagittarius, 27 degrees, 267th degree of the zodiac. Now, I was riffing on a couple of phrases that came out of Drinvalo. Whatever you see or feel in the Merkava becomes real. When you eat fruit from the tree at the heart of the garden, there is one in heaven who reveals secrets, a friend on earth who interprets dreams. Not to mention Malachi Elyon. We will remember this star breath, feel the sun absorbing waves pulsed from galactic center, helium core, emitting solar winds, catching the returning light in a giant dream catcher, weaving a lattice, spinning the fields of Kochav David. One of my favorite micro poems in the whole
Nice.
epic. And I just got an email from Ken Page, who pointed out that what Greg Braden was saying a number of years ago about the doubling of the frequency of the Schumann resonance has been just recorded in this past period of time. That they were recording it in Russia and a couple of other places, and it skipped right up to double.
What does that mean?
Well, that means that we're in what Tom Kenyon would call, or the Hathors would call, a chaotic node, because we're skipping to a higher dimensional Earth right now, which, if you're really attached to the lower dimensional Earth, it'll create some problems.
Right.
So we're getting unstuck from some of the prejudices that we have of being overly physical beings.
The Schumann resonance is the common frequency measured about what the pulse, the main pulse of the Earth is, too. So that
Yeah, so and it could disrupt the magnetic field severely if it's when it skips up. But it's like an overtone harmonic, so it's almost like we have to live in the overtone realm.
So you said the human frequency.
Schumann.
Schumann.
Oh, the
Schumann resonance.
Schumann resonance.
Yeah,
Got it.
that's just what it's called, and it was at 15.
Oh, okay.
Was it 15?
It was 7.8 at one point.
That's right, so it must be up to 15.6 now.
Yeah.
So, real. Wow, that's pretty significant.
It is very significant, and I think that's the kind of thing that shamans pick up first, because they're tuning into the upper worlds, and it may mean that records will become more available underneath the temples. That some of the prophecies of Edgar Casey will of storage from Atlantean records in Mexico, and maybe there'll be something under the water that will get revealed. So we're in a time where
Shift.
yeah,
So
it's a
you're
big
saying
shift.
we've gone from the Schumann resonance to the shaman resonance.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, that's a good one. That's a good one.
Whoa.
Good one.
Yeah, very good. We can get you on coast to coast with that one alone. Come on. This is a beautiful map by a friend of mine, Karen French. And she's, I think we both worked with Pythagoras. And this is a map of what is called E8. And it's a graph with 248 different points on it. And physicists are looking at this as a way of a new model for physics, the E8.
It's 200, and they just from 200. How many points?
248.
Each of those points.
Yeah, there's 248 in the outer wheel, and maybe it's showing here as a series of them broken down for each of these.
And the interference pattern creates that little tree of life thing in the middle.
Yeah,
Whoa.
yeah. Now,
Oh my god.
as it happens in gematria, The Hebrew word Avraham has a gematria of 248. Abraham. Bara, which is a code for Aleph Bara Elohim. In the beginning, the one created. So this is now being looked at as physics, as a master mandala that they can use to understand creations as physicists. I'd love to be able to apport Dr. Quantum, Fred Alan Wolf, who I interviewed years ago.
The exploding of a star
Mhm.
creates this chaotic field that structures itself a lot like what that would look like, I would imagine.
Yeah, when it reintegrates, yeah.
Yeah. And you've got the beehive in there and everything.
Yeah. So, I want to do some more research on E8 because I kind of understand its implications, but I don't know how it works that much. But I will say in Hebrew, on one of those 360s, Avraham is 248. Abara, like bara Elohim, create the Elohim. And then the Hebrew divine name, Yud He Vav He Elohim, I guess, is the one who was, is, and will be of the Elohim is 112. So between the 248 and the 112, you get the 360 homeless. You know, it's pretty challenging, but this is going to lead into a little bit of work on crop circles, because here you have the design of what comes from 3 points, 5 points, 6 points. What is this? A 7? This is heptagonal.
It's a 7.
I was in the first heptagonal crop circle years ago. It was 97. And it was unbelievable. It's like the year before there had been all 6, and people had felt, no, they're going to take it to the new level. They did. They brought through a 7-sided one. There's been a few, but not too many. 7's not easy to do. So we're going to, the crop circles are sacred geometry on earth energy node points, basically. So they're musical frequencies that are stamped on the earth, but are really a frequency going right through the structure of the earth, and bit by bit helping to reorganize us in the same way that the Schumann resonance is changing, so that collectively you can work with an individual here and there, but if you're an Elohim, you want to work with like an earth grid energy. You want to work with the sacred geometry.
The collective consciousness.
Yeah, where earth ants are running around, you know, and that's not, it's seldom going to be where big cities are. Sometimes. And there was a crop circle, which isn't going to be in this slideshow, but this one was. They called it a Latin cross, but actually the top part of this was in a crop circle a few years ago. I'll show it to you later, just from the crop circle oracle card deck. That this one is, what did she call it here? In
Unified code into 6 squares.
Well, I'll show you the crop circle later, and it was one of the most evolved ever.
It's actually 7 cubes, but that's okay.
And I'll show you Karen French's book as well.
That previous
on
slide
geometry.
showed jumping into the next dimension with
Yeah.
the hypercube and everything.
Yeah.
Which is the tesseract, isn't it? What you're
Yeah.
talking
Now this is called the theory of everything, the big toe, right?
Yeah.
The big theory of everything. Karen does a really good job. I want to show you the book later. This is from a friend of mine who put out the Sacred Geometry source book. And what you're looking at here are mandalas, and this is formed out of 36 overlapping circles, 72, 9, 18, and you'll like this one, Dan. That's the 144. That's pretty complex. I don't think you'll get a crop circle that gives you the 144 donut.
Oh,
to
let's
the
let's
dimension.
meditate on it.
It could happen. It'd have to be pretty big.
Yes, it would have to be pretty big. I'm glad you keep the door open for that one, Dan.
Yeah.
But this is a very important harmonic in astrology. And when I'm working as an astrologer, I'm working with the number 5 and the number 7 and the number 11. It's called harmonic astrology. Very few astrologers ever even touch it. They don't have any idea. But this gives you the creative energy of a human being because it's working on the pentagonal symmetry.
The 12 times 12.
It's 144, yeah, that's
Yeah.
2/5 of a circle. Twice 72. And 108 is part of that. That's 3 times 36. So every separation between two planets astrologically has a meaning. And if I stick around long
That's
enough,
right.
I'll try and write the book on that one. But
Between two, like you said, every separation between two planets, each of the signs of the zodiac is 12, and each can relate to every other one, which is 12 again. 12 times 12, 144 possibilities.
Yeah. Then there was also a way of dividing up the zodiac into 144 segments.
Right.
I think her name was Thaisa Escobar. They were called the 144 doors. So these are subharmonics. In each, there would be like 12 of them in each zodiac sign, but Libra would start one place, Scorpio would start another, like that. So it's like there's so many ways that you can use fractal geometry, basically.
Well, it's also encoded in the big circle there because each place,
You want me to go back?
yeah, sure. If you look, each place where two lines intersect is also a harmonic.
That's right, those are node
Those are all
points.
nodals.
They're node points. Now, coming up are a few of the crop circles. This is the one that came down at Martinsell Hill in 2007. And when you look at it, you're basically looking at the fifth dimensional energy coming in here in the center of all of them. And then you've got 1, 2, 3, 4. So you've got 5 dimensions in there. So you're looking at the fifth dimensional coming in the center there. And each of those is, it's a profound circle. And I had the challenge of writing an oracle for each of them. And I'll tell you, that was the most, I could put lots of stuff about them and the numbers and the myths and stuff, but I had to come up with something that would be an oracle. So this one is, you nest an ancient, new, enlightened being within your heart, tap your thymus gland 72 times to open. So this is a practice because 72 is a sacred number. So you do it, I do it like this, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, like I do it in multiples of 3, so 24 times 3 for 72 or whatever. And I find that if I do that every day, it definitely boosts my immunity and it keeps me aware of the energy from that center.
It's like the hollow point.
Yeah, well, you're creating a little resonance through the bones, but the idea is that if you're right on the thymus point, the thymus gland is considered your organ of regeneration, and some psychics would call it the high heart.
That's interesting.
And it's very important to keep that thymus gland healthy.
They call it solar plexus too, don't they? And
Yeah,
that's,
that's one down.
yeah. Oh, okay.
So
It's
it's
below.
right
Oh, I see,
below the
okay.
xiphoid.
I'm sure it has many names.
Now, here is the crop circle that everybody loves.
Yeah.
It's an angel.
And it was called, came down at a place called Great Shelford, and when I looked at it the first time I thought, this is Rumi. This is the dervish with the skirt. That's how I saw it. So, and Rumi being a heart master for sure. And I counted them, but it was very hard. I had to think that there was a couple missing extras in there, and I might have to do a recount, like an American election on it. But it was close enough to 72 for me to say, no, this is based on 72. And as a graphic, it became the most cherished of all crop circles.
I see a logarithmic frequency change towards the top.
Mm-hmm. And actually there are, this photograph doesn't show it, but there's actually a seventh circle. One circle, two circles, three light circles, 1, 2, 3 ground dark circles, but then there was another circle up here of light, which is like a corona. You can just begin to see it around the head. So there's light emanating in that seventh circle around the crown chakra of this being. Quite a work of art, this particular crop circle. And then the oracle that I wrote for this is: visualize yourself standing in a pillar of light. Feel this light descending from above your crown, illuminating your pineal gland, collecting in the chalice of your heart. Feel this blessing resonating between the palms of your hands. Be a healing angel, connecting heaven and earth. And ultimately, that was the beginning of healing. Was that people who were working with healing opened up the crown chakra, the light came through, and it divided into the magnetic field between left and right hand. And we hold that between the palms of our hands. So if you can call that energy in, you can hold that field. And that's the work of a healer, to do that.
And the angel Metatron is related to crystal energy. And this is what I was told with Metatron. And the crystal breaks the prism up into all the colors of the rainbow.
And Metatron in Hebrew lore is the one that Enoch, Hanoch, the initiate, became when he left his body and went back home. So there's a little bit more on Metatron. And there's a whole science now of the new physics coming in, which you could call Metatronics. Now this one on number 26, this, remember I showed you upstairs, was the tetractys, yeah? Which is 9 triangles held inside the 10th. Well, this one popped it open and showed the radiation of energy going out. And I think actually there are 26 circles in each, radiating out in each. Let's see here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I might have to do a recount on this one too. But the beauty of taking that triangle
27.
and sending it out through radiation with the little circles was intense. Right.
It would have been intense to be in that if that
Yeah, I was not
yeah.
there in that year. That came down, and well, maybe I was, but I wasn't in that circle. But there was in 1997 there was a group of Kabbalistic symbols in the fields in Britain. Pretty potent year. And 52 is important for the gematria because in Hebrew that's the number value of the prophet Eliyahu, Elijah, right? However, 52 is also the number of Zechuti, also called Thoth, in Egypt, and Viracocha in the southern hemisphere. So there's something about the number 52 that connects you to an ascended master of whatever culture you're connected to. Here's a little inside dope on this. There was